Hey everyone, it's Jack Reeve here, TalkNorwichCity. Hope you guys are all doing very well indeed. I'm sure you all are after that win against Huddersfield last weekend. The brilliant way to start the season. We needed that so badly, didn't we? We really did. I hope you've enjoyed this week's content. There's already been an opposition preview with Ben HD, of course a Preston fan, and also a fairly in-depth chat with Ali Maxwell. So if you want to watch them after this video, then please feel free to do so. If you haven't already, then click subscribe. We're trying to do pretty much daily content throughout the season here on TNC. So join us on that journey as we approach 20,000 subscribers. It's brilliant to be saying that. As I mentioned, it's Preston up this weekend for Norwich City, and I think this is somewhat more of a challenge for Norwich City. Huddersfield on the opening day was the perfect fixture, really. I mean, under a new manager, a few players not featuring that maybe would have been towards the tail end of last season for them, and just in a slight phase of transition, I think. And they were there for the beating, and thankfully we did get it done. It did take a mistake from Stearman to get it done, but we took the chance well. So that's that done. A good start for Norwich City. We needed that. And now we go into this game at Carrow Road against Preston. I'm not so sure that there's really too much of a home advantage at the moment. Certainly not in the Premier League. There wasn't. The stats show that with no fans, there was essentially no advantage at all. It's a bit more, swayed towards home teams when it comes to picking up points, but I don't think there's as much of an advantage as there was before. On the flip side, you could say, well, there's less pressure on these players because when they make a mistake, for example, they haven't got the snake pit jumping on their back. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I think Preston are more of a challenge. You can go and watch the opposition preview with Ben HD for a bit more insight on Preston. But I expect them to be, certainly top 10 and challenging for the playoffs. I think Alex Neil's done a really good job there. Their wage bill and the money that they spend on players should really be putting them in the bottom half of the championship table. And on a regular basis, they're up there and challenging with the top six. And I don't think this season will be any different. I don't think the standard in the championship is quite as high this season. And Ali Maxwell said that in the video that I did with him a few days ago. Except for us and Watford, Brentford, I'd probably put in that category, and maybe Bournemouth. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. There's not any really kind of top teams in the Championship this season. Sometimes when you come down, we've had it in the past, haven't we? Newcastle, for example, in the Championship, they were far and above better than anyone else. There just isn't a team like that in the Championship this season, I don't think. So hopefully it should be a little easier for Norwich City to do something. This is going to be a really interesting one. It's a good opportunity for Norwich now to start building some momentum. We built momentum of losing football matches. We need to break out of that, and putting a small run together is so crucial in this division. All it takes is 3-4 wins on the bounce and you start to really separate yourselves from opposition. So that's key. In terms of the team, I wouldn't be making too many changes from what we saw against Huddersfield. I think there's been chat surrounding Adam Eder maybe coming in for Pukki. Not for me. I think Eder's a brilliant player and he will get an opportunity this season. There's no doubt about that. And he's already been given that opportunity off the bench. I just think Teemu Pukki at this level is just a real level above. I know he didn't score against Huddersfield, but that little dummy for Adam Eder's goal, I don't know if I'm over egging it a little bit and if it is that special, but it just looked so classy to me. The way he slowed the sort of play down to allow Eder to get into the scoring position, the awareness to know that Eder's coming over his left shoulder, and then that little just chop to make the defender commit on the ground is so brilliant, and it was a real masterstroke, that assist. It reminded me of the Manchester City assist that he got for Todd Cantwell's goal. So I'd keep Pukki in there. The area of the pitch I'm most unsure about at the moment, I think it's because we've got so many options, is the three in behind. Now, I'm really keen on the idea of starting both Hernandez and Poeta. I think the pace of that will be frightening, and I think you're guaranteed to create chances with that setup. Emi Buendia is, of course, returning from suspension, so he'll be up for selection, and his quality essentially guarantees him a place in a championship side. I'd certainly be looking to reintroduce him back into the side, which means you would have thought one of either Kieran Dowell or Todd Cantwell will miss out from the starting 11. I don't know who you drop. I think Dowell's looked lively since his start in a Norwich City shirt, and although Cantwell maybe wasn't at his best on Saturday, he still creates opportunities and is a really classy player. I'm not overly sure as of yet, and I know there hasn't been too many games and the sample size isn't big enough at the moment, but I'm not overly sure if Cantwell and Dowell works as a two. I think they're very similar players and they kind of get caught up in each other's style a little bit. So Buendia comes back in for me. I wouldn't lose sleep if Boeth is in there as well. I think Hernandez has to start. He's very, very good at this level. And I know his final product isn't necessarily quite there. If it was, he'd be a Premier League footballer and a good Premier League footballer. But he hasn't got that, so he's playing Championship football and he's very much excelling at this level. I think he'll cause teams all kinds of problems. Really, really like the look of Oliver Skipp. I think he's gonna, if we keep him fit throughout the season, I think we'll be looking back at that bit of business and going, wow, how on earth did we get hold of him? Has to be starting. In the defence, I think I'd keep the same. Very, very, happy with Javi Quintilla's first league game in terms of his ability to cross the ball. That was really good. I didn't know that he had that in the locker. Max Aarons is just brilliant at this level, so he of course starts. And I think the centre-back pairing keep their places as well. I think it'd be harsh to drop them after a clean sheet. If we were to drop one of them out for Ben Gibson coming in, for me it'd be Christoph Zimmermann. I like Christoph, but I think Ben Gibson's probably got a little bit more to offer. Is he ready? Well, only Farke will know that. I know he's had a little while out of first teams, etc. But he's obviously a classy operator. That's why he brought him in. So I wouldn't change the team too much. Preston come into this off the back of a good win against the Derby side that are struggling a little bit. They've sold a few of their key assets. Daniel Johnson did play that game. Now, he always looks lively when we play Preston. I remember him scoring at Carrow Road a couple of times, I think, in the past. He did play against Derby and scored. I don't think he played their first league game because of rumours of him going elsewhere. So who knows if he'll be playing this game, but he's a threat. So yeah, head over to the opposition preview if you want a bit more analysis on Preston. That's a really good watch. But as I say, not too much to change. And I think if we do want success this season, consistency with the team selection is going to be really key. I think that's what let us down last season. I don't think Farke knew his best 11, and when I think he did know his best 11, they just didn't perform. So really excited for this one at Carrow Road. Hopefully I follow works a little bit better this time. Let me know your score predictions down in the comment section below. I'm going to go for a 2-0. I can see another clean sheet coming here. I can't believe I'm saying that. I never thought I'd say I'm expecting a Norwich City clean sheet, but how times change and how one win changes the mood completely. I hope you're all well. Leave a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.